You may know him from many different movies and this television show called Saturday Night Live. He's going to be at the beloved true star of suburban comedy in the greater Chicagoland area. We have to say Chicagoland. We get away with that now, I guess. He's going to be at the he's going to be at the Comedy Vault in Batavia coming up here in April. 4 shows, 2 nights, Friday and Saturday. The great Jay Mohr is with us. Jay, how are you doing, man? You've been going through so much. More stories popping off, big podcast clips all over the place. I have people share. When people are sharing the clips, that's when you know things are kicking a little bit, right?
I'm glad to hear their share. First of all, hi Kevin, thank you for having me. Thanks for making time, my brother. And yeah, the podcast, there was a 3-year hiatus as I got my personal thing together,
Yeah.
as they say. And then now it's back. It's not a new podcast. Doing it about 10 years, and then that 3-year break, and then now we're popping. But now with video, so that's a new bonus for me to do. It's fun.
Now, obviously, of course, a lot of people got to know you through SNL. What you got when you were like, what, 21, 22?
Yeah,
Which is
21.
insane. That's insane.
It seems to be the way it went a lot of the time. Like I think they get people like too young to be nervous, too young, too stupid. Like we're too
Mhm.
dumb to think like what's at stake. You just like, oh, stand here, say this, okay. Anthony
Yeah.
Michael Hall. I think Anthony Michael Hall was 17.
Yeah.
Eddie was 19. Yeah.
It's wild. So you're doing the show. Obviously, there are a lot of people that people got to know you for, and you develop all these characters that you're able to now to work into stand because you were stand up first, right? And everyone knows you for this Tracy Morgan thing. The clip I love recently that I watched, and I had to ask you about that, is your interaction with a good friend of yours, Tracy Morgan, who recently was in the news, unfortunately,
Oh, poor
for getting
guy.
sick at a Knicks game, which is the most Tracy Morgan way of interrupting a Knicks
I'm gonna
game.
make sure they call a timeout. I'm gonna vomit on the court. Make sure they get the timeout. Catch their breath.
We got to beat this spread.
We gotta beat the spread, and I'm damn sure gonna hit the under. Like
So,
Tom Thibodeau is my father.
everyone knows you're in a marriage with Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, and apparently Tracy Morgan's not aware of that. He is not aware at all that your wife was the owner of the
We're at
Lakers.
SNL 50. I introduced Jeannie to Tracy, and my wife says, "You should come out to LA and let me treat you to a Lakers game." He goes, "Are you a dancer?" Me and Dean Edwards and Jeannie laughed. You know when you laugh, like it's the kind of laugh where you have to leave the room or you think you might have to go to the hospital.
Yes,
It
that's
was one of those.
the side like your face hurts, like right here, right by your
It was
cheek.
like, oh my God, like I'm in a tuxedo and I might die from laughing. What a way to go out on a Tracy Morgan line. You a dancer? 'Cause oh God. Yes, Tracy.
I was on air. It was odd night to be on the radio during SNL 50 because it felt like the comedy Super Bowl. It felt like the wildest, funnest thing. What was it like for you just to be able to there to experience that and be around all those people and be connected with this weird thread to all of these amazing, talented people?
First of all, that's the best way I've heard it described yet, the comedy Super Bowl. That's exactly what it felt. It was the biggest, I don't know. I felt like I was a part of the most massive thing comedically that ever happened. Like comedy's never had like a summit. It was like
Mhm.
Mecca. And just being aware that I was an incredibly small fish in an enormous pond and being just okay with that. At least I was in the pond, you know? I mean, I was in a room with Keith Richards and Paul McCartney. That's like I'm from New Jersey. Things like that don't happen. Usually I'm in a room with Anthony and Marco. Hey, we're in a room now. Oh,
Hey,
I got a new
Tracy,
character I'm working on. Andrew Nice Clay.
it's Andrew Nice Clay. How does that work? Because
So
he's
this
not a
chick's
nice man.
behind me at the bank and she goes, "Are you gonna go?" I said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Have you done this for Dice yet? Has Dice seen you workshop this one in front of him?
No, I wish. I wish I could see Dice every day of my life. He seems like one of those guys like going to get coffee just with Dice would be like just I don't know. I can't picture him. What's your name when the barista says, "What's your name?"
Yes.
Dice.
Oh, this one, and then he does the over the
When she puts that thing out that says, "What tip do you want to use?" 10, 15, 20. Andrew Nice Clay. Where's the 35 button?
top. So when I was watching SNL, I had to post this. I was like, oh, Tim Meadows, he's a Chicago guy. We're Q101. We got to reference the Chicago people in the show. When I'm starting to talk to our people on social, and then immediately I was like, Jay Mohr, I couldn't stop.
Oh yeah.
I remember we put you guys in the story. I was like, this guy, Jack White, because Q101 were the alternative rock reads, and Jack White has this big, like, how the
Yeah,
hell
like a little
here?
kid. Like a little
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah, and then you're in the. I saw you in the back. I was like, you're just drinking it in. Like this is just rad. You know, you were.
Kevin, what was funny is I fought, you have no idea the battle within to not go like this and wave on camera. Like everything, I'm like, how do I let people at home know that I'm on camera, that I know they're, and I'm like, don't, because when I've seen it in the past watching the show, I'm like, look at this idiot waving. I was like, okay, look up, don't give yourself a double chin. Okay, wow, your hair transplants came in real good. They look
All right.
nice on camera. But Jack White, yeah, I saw that too. That screen grab. He's like, that's how we all felt. That's how it seemed like everyone felt, like little kids at the coolest thing in the world. And I never met Jack White before, and we passed each other in the hallway, and he just looks at me and goes, "Jay," like, what the hell? The guy, the Seven Nation Army guy, just pointed to me and said my name. I was walking to the men's room and Zach Galifianakis was coming towards me. And I said, Zach, is the men's room that way? He goes, yeah. And Keith Richards is in there. He giggles. Like we're all just giggling, like, yeah. Like mom and dad are drunk. It's hilarious. Uncle Mike has his shirt off. He's like, he goes, yeah, Keith Richards is in there. I double time my gate to try to get to a urinal next to Keith, but I was too late because my big plan was, there's that like divider between urinals.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so I was gonna stand next to him and knock on it and say, "Don't you hate these things?"
You had your bit planned in your head,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh,
Don't you
mount
hate
up.
these things? And I'm just gonna look at him like I was gonna eat him alive. Don't you hate
You're,
them?
you would forecheck Chris Kattan if he was in line with you next to you in front of you to like get
He's tough to
best.
check. He's wiry, dude. He's that's mango, dude. It's tough. I would not want to have to lay hips on my man Chris Kattan. He's like Mercury. He moves quick.
Sports. You were a huge sports guy. You've been involved in the sports world for a long time. Chicago sports. You though are from a different time. There was a lot of rivalries between the regions and the teams you grew up supporting. For you, when you think Chicago sports, who is the guy you think of that pops to your mind as a comedian, someone who covered sports?
Andre Dawson.
Okay. 80,
That's the first.
80s, 90s Cubs. Okay, I get what
Tapped
you're
his
saying.
knees up like he was the everyman. Like he had to. I mean, in my mind's eye, he's like playing with ace band. He's like on the field with ace bandages around his knees. My man was the best.
Dylan.
Fuck. Of course, it's Jordan. I mean, you can't even say Jordan anymore
Mm-mm.
because it is Jordan, right?
Yeah, it's who else besides Jordan? I can understand that as well. But especially I
Alex
grew up with it. I'm so
Caruso.
spoiled.
Oh my God, Alex Caruso. Lakers fans act like they let Jerry West go. You got to see, Laker fans are. It's insane. Like, they never should have let Alex Caruso go. They still say that to this day. Well, not so much anymore because we got Luca, but it's like, yeah, it's if you pay attention to the noise, you wind up in a lot of noise. Things are good out here in LA, Kev.
Yeah,
When
sports
LeBron
wise.
James, when LeBron James is your second option, that doesn't make sense.
You're spoiled. You got the Dodgers too. They're blowing up, and like everything's
I mean,
happening.
Chicago sports. I mean, sweetness. You guys look. Chelly, you guys had a good run, dude. You guys had a good run. So kiss my ass.
Okay.
That's like when Patriot fans complain. I'm like, whoa,
Yes.
really?
You excited for the Olympics in 2026, or just the traffic that's going to come with it to LA?
I'm all right. I'm okay with the traffic. It's worth it to get to wrestling. I'm a wrestler. I coach wrestling, high school. I coached high school wrestling for a while, and to to have um, to have Olympic wrestling in my backyard will be great.
What
I'm
was your what weight did you wrestle at?
105 as a freshman, 119, 135 as a sophomore, and then 135, 140 as a junior senior.
Were you doing that crazy weight cutting wrestling thing?
No, I never
Were you
cared enough.
sleeping in the garbage bag? Were you sleeping in the
No,
garbage bag?
never. If I didn't, what's funny is the two tournaments I won is because I didn't make weight at my weight. So I had to go up a weight class. And because I had no record, I was the last seed.
Okay.
So then I just blew as the afternoon went on, my matches got easier. So I wrestle like the number one seed first. I win like 3-1. And then by the end of the day, I've eaten like 4 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a couple bananas, and I'm wrestling like the 8 seed for the gold medal. My coach is mad. So I got some fatso medals they're in my house hanging still.
You call them fatso medals?
Yeah, because I was like just like 22%. I had a little belly roll. I never like cutting weight. I'm like, what are you guys doing? But there was other guys. I would encourage them to cut weight.
Mhm.
There was guys that do big cuts, and I was like, they should definitely cut weight. And when I coached, I would I think I cut more weight as a coach than as an actual wrestler.
So I love talking about sport. How much of the sports mentality did you apply? I was listening to clips and different things you're doing. You're talking about when you did your audition for SNL, or Club One. You were in sweatpants and you came from the gym, and you had that mentality of approaching it in a different way. Is that something you still have? Do you still kind of approach it like an athletic mind to comedy a bit, or no?
Nothing's a big deal. It seems to be my mindset that's been successful for me. Everything's just like, okay, this is what I do. It's okay. Like the odds of this happening are zero. So just have fun. Be like the guys that I love, coaches like Calipari, Patino, they're like, just get out there and have fun. Go out there and have fun. I just thought there was like no, the pants I'm wearing aren't going to be why I get Saturday Night Live.
Mhm.
It's what comes out of my mouth. So I just went and stayed really loose. And I think I've never been, these are good questions, Kevin. I've never been asked that. And you're right. It is that mindset. If I'm backstage, like I performed at festivals where there's a comedian between bands, and backstage is chaos. And the person walking me to the stage, they walk super fast. They got a walkie in their ear, and they're like, I'll never match that energy. They always got to come back and get me. Like the faster they walk, the slower I walk. It's like, don't don't speed me up. And I've always applied when I coached wrestling, I would tell the guys, stay in your time.
Mhm.
This is your metronome. You're the drummer. You keep the beat. Don't get caught up in his business.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I've had those with like doing stand up myself, but also like everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna be great at these stage intros, and we have to. Here's something we need you to do, and you have 90 seconds." But then I'm also like, "I'm gonna get a bit in." So all right, like, and I'm thinking to myself, 90 seconds isn't 90 seconds. I'm gonna go longer than
oh,
90.
90 seconds is like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
It's impossible. Who was I
yeah,
just talking to on the podcast? Taylor Williamson. When he did America's Got Talent, he had 90 seconds.
insane. My roommate Jacob Williams is a great comic. He did pretty well on it. Went to the semis. He told me like how he had to structure everything with it. I was like, I don't have that type of jokes. I wouldn't even want to do it. The kill
I
Tony
can't.
thing. You have a minute. I was like, I don't have a minute to kill. I need some time. I'm that lounge thing where you have to simmer into them. I'm not a fast cook.
That's
I'm not a
good.
microwave.
Yeah. If I got a minute, then I should not do this show.
Exactly.
Like I couldn't even do like the Tonight Show. Like they brought it up to me. I did 20 Tonight shows, and once in a while they'd be like, you can do a spot whenever you want. And I was like, no, actually, I cannot. I cannot. That's 4.5, 5 minutes. I don't know.
Mhm.
And it's funny. I was just telling my wife this, like the most uncomfortable I am on stage is like that first minute and a half. It's so weird. Yeah, here he is. Yeah. And then,
Oh
and then
no, I
it's
gotta be this
silent and
good.
then
I
talk.
got I like that sense of like if they really give you a great reaction, you walk. Oh, okay, I gotta be that good. I gotta be like I gotta be that. Oh, okay, all right, okay. Settle in.
Like, what do you say once I'm in it? Like, what do you say first? It's so
Mhm.
weird.
I always hate the first
Weird
one.
business. It's a weird way to make a living.
It's a weird.
You make people feel joy. People buy a ticket to walk into a room with the understanding, I'm going to feel fantastic. It's like being a drug dealer. Like,
Yes.
I'm going to feel great. Like, there's no like sadness rooms. Well, I guess like a Morrissey concert. There's no like melancholy rooms except for like Morrissey. That's about it, right? It's just
Emo.
making you
There's
laugh.
there's probably emo comedy, right? There's emo comedy. It's probably
Yeah,
that
it sounds
probably.
bad, terrible comedy. Or I guess if guys like do a lot of crowd work and they just make
Yeah.
fun of the audience, like I always get uncomfortable. I don't like the audience having a say in how things go.
Yeah. I think it's a bit much. At least because the perception is, some people go to these shows now and they feel like even at the bar level, like the small rooms and stuff like that, like they feel that. And you have some shows now where they're completely built on that premise, which is fine if that's a showcase and it's really built on that. You know what you're going in for. I have no problem doing that. But I mean, when
What's
you're doing
hard,
like headlining sets and everyone just wants to cut you off every 5 minutes, you know?
what's hard is when your opener does a half hour of crowd work and then you go up.
Oh,
The crowd's either really tense or they've completely relaxed, like, okay, that's over with. Now I can just sit here and zone out. It's
can
like,
I
oh,
ask you this as a touring headliner? This is the thing I will ask. This may be a little bit more shot for people watching or listening. The the host or feature, they're the opening acts for you as someone who's in town. They do a bunch of local references and murder with "Come on, Batavia, we're not Rolling Meadows." And like everyone picks on it, and then you're like, I don't know is. I know where the Target is near the hotel. Why are you putting me in this spot? Like that type of thing. Do you have that where you're like, all right, if you're in Boston or wherever you are used to performing, like you don't mind making those jokes, but
no,
is
I
that
think
always
it's
a hump
great
to get over?
I think it's great when a guy does it. I mean,
Okay.
anything to get the crowd like hyped up, and then it dials me into like where I am because you get into like this it becomes such a routine and by rote that you forget like, oh no, I'm in this individual town with individual people that they have their route to work. They have their one place that's always known for construction and that stupid crane that's always blocking and I like being brought into that because if it's nothing else, it's the moment. It's
Mhm.
what's actually happening there. I love that stuff. And
And they know
I'll try to work something in like that.
and they know for a fact that you're referencing them in their real lives. Like, oh wow, like there's a level of relatability.
Sometimes I've done it where like it doesn't, the reference doesn't even make sense, but they're so programmed to appreciate the reference. I'm like, come on, Batavia, we're not in Oak Meadows. It's like, there isn't an Oak Meadow, and they're like, he's right, we're not in Oak Meadows.
Western suburbs of Chicago, there probably is, and I've driven through it, and I didn't even know.
It seems like
Coming up,
it seems like the suburbs of Chicago were the most lazily named.
yes,
They just watched like 50s TV and just named everything.
everything sounds like it's a town they went to. That's like the town over from Leave It to Beaver. Like that.
No, I just came from Rolling Meadow. That's nice. That, by the way, if I ever start a weed company, I'm definitely going to have a strand called Rolling Meadows. Give me an eighth of Rolling Meadows.
The dispensaries are open. They'll be open for you when you come through town.
Oh, I'm good. No, I lost that privilege a long time
Okay,
ago.
all right, yeah, it's fair. Tell me about life. You're in a healthier point in your life. How has that it had laid an impact on your comedy? Because you're a very creative, forward thinking guy. How has that changed your life in that regard?
Well, I got sober. There was an intervention for me March 11th, 2021. And just a funny side note, you have to tell a drug addict a lie to get us to an intervention. You can't outthink us.
Okay, yeah.
So the lie they told me to trick me to get me to my intervention, I was told for my podcast the next morning at 8 a.m. I was going to interview Wu-Tang Clan.
You're wearing a Wu-Tang Clan shirt right now.
Yeah, no, there's a merch table at my intervention.
Here you go.
And I was so high, I thought that was true. And like, think of like how out of it I was on speed. Where I actually thought Wu-Tang Clan was coming over to my house at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So I could interview them and help them with their careers. Meanwhile, I'm doing talking dog movies and I'm not even like a lead dog. I'm a salesman at Chewy Vuitton. So I go to rehab and I went to two rehabs back to back. And and then when you get out, it's like, okay, now what? It's the only time in my life I had not done stand up for months. So going back on stage was scary. That fire that was in me was like this little tiny, tiny pilot light behind my ribs, it felt like. I didn't remember how bits went. But then I did an outdoor show during COVID it was like in the parking lot of a church. And the host was sober, the promoter host was sober. And he said to me, the first four rows is all sober living people. So just tell stories about when you were in rehab. And I was at like 79 days sober. And I went up and I did a half hour off the top of my head and I went all of a sudden, oh my God, I have an hour of material about an intervention, going to rehab, the chaos in my head. So that was inspiring and fun for me because like what's more fun than having new material?
And it when it hits too. When it hits, you're
Yeah. And no one's talking about what that's like. No one's talking about being like Mulaney's the only other guy I know that took a shot at it.
like,
And so it's nice to be on stage and be present for the first time in my life. There's no thoughts of what are we doing after this? Wink, wink. Where's the party after this? Who's that? Who's she? What's he doing? Do they have pills? Who's got pills for me?
Mhm.
Who am I going to hang out with? It's just about the words and the vibe and the feeling and the performance and that honest share with the crowd. And I've noticed my stand-ups gotten infinitely better. And I've felt like that many times in my career. And each time I'm like, wow, now I'm really kicking ass stand-up wise. And then more will be revealed, more. You know what? Okay. It's like a room with a dimmer switch. You start comedy, everything's black, and then the dimmer switch goes on, and you just see a little bit. You see like a little something in front of you. It's a plate, and then it goes out further. There's a place setting, and you go, "Oh, I'm okay. This is a table with plate dining," and then it keeps going. Your career, you go, "Oh, there's a whole other room in there." And then you're just outside the house. Everything just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But if I use drugs or drink, bang, black again.
Mhm.
So I just got to stay leaning on that dimmer, and everything keeps getting brighter and brighter and brighter and better. My life's ridiculous. I married my best friend. I have two sons that are just beautiful knuckleheads. I got a kid at Oregon. I got a kid in middle school. I go out every other weekend because, I want to work, but not really. I want to work really hard once in a while. I love my life. I spend my days helping other men get free from addiction the best I can. After
God
this, I'll
bless
be
you.
on a FaceTime call with a guy in rehab. Yeah, like my definition of success has completely changed.
That's wonderful, man. Like
Thank
there's there's a clarity in what you're talking about that's like very clear
you.
and
Because
evident.
as I'm saying it, I'm like, you sound like an idiot. Or as Norm would say, it's good because as I was saying it, I thought, oh God, I sound like a dummy. I'm talking about sobriety and all that. Like, I don't know.
Is that Norm's take on everything I heard a
I
little
was
bit.
trying to do Norm, a little bit. I don't know. Hey, some people, Kevin,
Yeah.
smoke crack.
Oh, they do.
That's crazy. I've never smoked crack. Nah, I've never smoked crack, but I've seen some cracks. People in front of me at the game there. Aren't you amazed? You can tell my ADD is kicking in because I'm fired up with you.
Yeah.
Aren't you amazed how often you have to see another man's ass crack on a regular basis? Like, how do guys not know that their pants are an inch below the Mason-Dixon line?
Oh, there's a club we have in Chicago. It's like the Comics Club, Lincoln Lodge, and like there's times when somebody will be like going on stage in the green room, and they're just I'll do the shake thing, just like shake a little physical thing before you get up there,
Yeah.
right? And there was one time where I was clearly doing it, and I was adjusting my shirt, and everyone goes, "Whoa!" like in the corner of the room, and I was like, "I
Yeah,
appreciate
you
it."
were doing an adjustment. I'm just talking about like you're at a game, you're at a
Yeah.
Bulls game, the guy in front of you, you're just staring at this
Oh
freaking
yeah. Yes.
meatloaf
Yes.
sandwich for an hour and
Oh,
a half.
like me give him a little peek of the show back there, sure, like I'm just getting ready that, but this is a completely different
This
circumstance.
guy's
And
hanging out with their.
yeah, Jay, can you hear me? Your audio may went out there for a minute. Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yeah, what were you just saying? You were saying the crack
Oh,
was
this guy's hanging out for like hours at a time, sitting right in front of you. You can't get a hot pretzel, nothing, because all you can see is this guy's sweaty, hairy ass staring at you.
the Bears suck, and I have to stare at this. like
The Bears, look, I'm a Jets fan, so I think we're in very similar situations. But I think you guys actually have a light at the end of the tunnel. The Jets light is a train. It is what Jets stands for is just end the season.
April 11th and 12th, Jay Mohr, two shows each night. It is at comedyvaultbatavia.com. Comedyvaultbatavia.com. Just Google Jay Mohr, and
Yeah,
that's Mohr.
HR.
I'm
You'll
doing
get
that.
there. Mohr. And on
Mohr. There we
Instagram,
go. I'm I,
Instagram is jmore37. The podcast is More Stories, Mohr Stories. That's Apple, what is it, Spotify, and you can watch it on YouTube. I've been told my comment section is viciously negative, and somebody came up to me and said, your comment section is bro. And I said, bro, good? He goes, no. And I said, well, you know what Reggie Jackson said? Fans don't boo nobodies. He goes, have you read those comments? I'm like, why would I want to read that? From Milkman 420.
Oh, there's some people that get mad at me about Q101 things. I'm like, we can talk and have fun, but beyond that, I don't know why I would want to, pester anything further.
Amazing. Everybody's got an opinion.
Absolutely. Thank you for the time, Jay. I really appreciate
Hope I
it.
meet you in person, Kevin. You're a good guy. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
I'm gonna try and swing out to some of these shows and come by and say hi and stuff like
Try
that.
not to vomit on the basketball court.
I'm not gonna cause a 10-minute delay on the show. I'm not gonna do that at all. Yeah, you come through Chicago, let me know. We'll get whatever you need, man. Take care.